Here at Dark Future Apparel, we're definitely into war games, as you can see. One part of war games is definitely working with something called Greenstuff. It allows for you to actually change models, make them better, or make them look different. So today what we're going to do is we're going to give you a beginning lesson on how to use Greenstuff. And we're going to show you some of the tricks that we have learned, especially that I have learned, over the years. You want to pull off probably about a chunk the size of your thumb, as you can see, about the size of your thumbnail, sorry. And you want to take that, pop it right there. Now I recommend using either wax paper. I love wrapping paper. Since wrapping paper is nice and smooth, it's really hard to stick to. It's something I recommend. Now you may want to be careful though, because you can see the white part will come up. So you pull out the same amount, about yay much. A little bit more on the yellow won't hurt either. Gives you a nice good sticky resin to work with. Mix it in with the blue and just knead it back and forth. Now if you feel that your hands are getting sticky, I always recommend a nice bowl of water to go with you. The reason we have the bowl of water is that so your fingers don't stick to it when you're working with it. Just dip them in and just knead it into the Greenstuff itself. It also makes it kind of tacky instead of sticky. That way, when you start to mix it, you don't get it all over your hands or clothing. Okay, so after we've kneaded our Greenstuff, as you can see, I like to sit there and roll it into small pieces. So we can then take it, roll it out, and we can begin to mold it. Now, what we're going to be molding today is, that's right, pustules. Now, a pustule is part of the Nurgle army, or Death Guard as some people like to call it, is probably one of the easiest things you can make for your Death Guard army and not really honestly have to worry too much if you make a mistake. I would recommend first off, before you sit there and start applying Greenstuff, is to figure out what it is you want your rhino to look like. I like pustules. First thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a bed of pustules. So, take my Greenstuff, my rhino, and basically just lay the Greenstuff down and on. Now you'll apply it by pinching your fingers together and basically pushing down, kind of like as if you were kneading clay. And then when you want to stretch it out, take your finger, press down and pull. Press down and pull. Make sure that when you feel it getting too sticky, dab your finger in a little bit of wet water and just basically keep moving it. And what this is going to do is it's going to start giving you this kind of a bed or a rise on the armor itself. Make sure you get down into the little cracks too. Don't worry if you get thumbprints in it. You're going to be molding it, so it's going to be actually pretty easy. Now, to start making it so that it looks like skin is being folded over and is part of the actual rhino itself, I take my scooper end, okay? And my scooper end right here, basically I start putting little rivets, little divots in, like lines. And I start feeling the plastic underneath it. And as you'll notice, you'll actually start to see skin ripples right here. And I do those up and down the sides. That way it actually looks like it's actually part of the rhino itself. Okay, as you can see, I just basically move it along. And you can change this up. You can go one way, you can go another way. You can basically cut into it deep and pull it around, you know, to get that kind of skin flap kind of feel. Okay? And basically you just go all around on either side. So, as you sit there and begin to push it back and forth, you'll notice a very smooth surface right up top. That's where our pustules are going to go. This right here comes with every single one of your brushes. Now, you'll notice this short tube, which sticks on and protects all your brushes, is a phenomenal tool for pustules. Let me show you. Make sure it's wet. Okay? And then take it and push it down into the clay. As you see the beginning of the pustules. Round, risen up, and basically pretty well preserved. You can even do a little mark a Nurgle if you want to. When I have my pustules, I then take the sides and I begin to dip down. I actually press the sides down so they look like they're risen, or they're rising up above the rest of the skin. So, do that to each one of your pustules. Be careful not to push too far into them or you might lose them. And even leave some of them kind of recessed down into the green stuff. It really does make a big difference. Okay, so as you can see the pustules here, you can also see the little, well, I like to call them spike marks here. You'll notice it almost looks a little bit like a beehive or some type of insect hive. And that really concludes our lesson. Thank you very, very much for joining us here. We know that in time, you too will learn how to use Greenstuff and become a better modeler. And remember, don't fear anything. You got to try it first. Have a great day and take care.